Africa. A friend representing my PS colleague for Public Health and Professional Standards. Colleagues from the ministries of Interior and National Administration, Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, our friends from the county government here represented, the regional and county commissioners, the regional and county commanders, colleagues from Brook Africa, Crestwood, friends from the media, and stakeholders within the livestock sector. Good morning. Good morning once again. One is to say that I'm very delighted to see all of you this morning to discuss a very important subject, which is to focus on the enforcement of the rules and regulations within the livestock sector. And I remember a few weeks back, we had an interesting conversation with my brother Daktari from Brook. And he was able to share with us very interesting statistics. And his passion for the donkeys still remained the same as it was when we met then. And listening to him today again, sharing the numbers and the history of animals and particularly donkeys with regards to our level of development, not just as a country, but as a continent, and how central and important donkeys are in that process. And also demonstrating the danger that exists with these donkeys, that if we do not do something about them, they are going to be extinct in a matter of a few years to come. And having colleagues within that sector, particularly the veterinarians, who are not just interested in the donkeys alone, but also other livestock, we are then able to try and intermarry those relationships and see how best do we support our friends who are tasked with the responsibility of looking after us through good management of the various practices that exist within the agriculture and livestock domain. And out of that conversation, when we met several weeks back, then we realized that we needed to bring everybody on board, particularly agencies within government that are concerned with law enforcement. And from then, we did make communication to various officers across the counties, actually the 27 counties that he did mention. And today, looking at the representation, we have counties from the Rift Valley, Central, Nairobi, as well as Eastern, where the challenge is biggest. And this doesn't mean that the other counties that are not here are not faced with similar challenges. But then we have an opportunity to lead from the front by being able to support not just the government, but even those in the private sector in enforcing the rules that exist within the sector and also the regulations. And then we also have then an opportunity to look at where the gaps are. And I'm happy that my brother Mweke has mentioned plans to make amendments or to come up with other regulations within the food safety and control bill. And therefore, today we are here to begin an important exercise that underpins what we consider to be a challenge with national security, but also food safety and food security. Now, the nexus between these elements is essential for the well-being of our people and the stability of the nation. And recent evaluations by the ministry have highlighted increased risks emanating from the livestock sector. And within the Ministry of Interior, we are dealing with a lot of risks. There is the ongoing operations that we are dealing with in the North Rift, and it's primarily affecting the livestock sector. We have seen dangers of adulterated milk and meat, particularly in poultry and beef. And most recently, just about 2 months ago, we were having cases of contaminated or unsafe food products that led to diseases like anthrax. We even reported fatalities in Murang'a County as a result of this. Now, the informal food sector is similarly contributing to unregulated trade in animal products, allowing unknown meat and even wildlife products to enter our eateries. I'm sure you've seen cases of zebra carcasses captured or reported, basically meaning that when you go into your butchery to purchase meat, you're not very sure whether it's from the right source. Now, suspicion of consumption of donkey meat has raised concern about the origin of these animals, despite the government having banned the slaughter of donkeys in 2020 and rendering the designated abattoirs non-operational. Now, as key stakeholders in this sector, you are aware about the pattern of livestock thefts, and it's unfortunate that such incidents have not only lost livestock, but has also led to loss of lives and livelihoods. You can imagine a situation where you're having 100 heads of cattle being taken or driven away. In the process, there's the exchange of gunfire, so people die. But even for families that depend on these livestock, then their livelihoods are affected. Now, this theft is linked with the emergence of bandits selling meat to unscrupulous traders and transnational criminal gangs who are smuggling and trafficking animal products, such as skins, across borders, and linked with other illicit wildlife trade. We know, and the director has highlighted the interest, particularly from the Chinese, on donkey skin, but there are also other people who trade or who transport and sell wildlife trophies, if you may. Now, there is a whole conundrum in the whole space. So within that confusion, there is the wildlife that is involved. There is the domestic livestock that is involved, and that includes the donkeys. And out of that, you are ending up with not just the country losing, not in respect to just revenue that they would get, the country would get, but then you are encouraging other activities that then make it difficult for the law enforcement officers to keep the country safe. Now, the safety and security of our food supply is therefore critical so that we are able to protect public health and the overall food economy. Now, to counter these threats, securing the entire food chain from production to consumption becomes crucial for our national security, and the onus is on us who are here today to ensure that we secure this space. Earlier this year, a directive was issued to enforce existing rules and regulations in the livestock sector, and today we will be beginning that RRI to make sure that there is compliance with those directives. Now, at the county level, the county commissioners are expected to establish the multi-agency teams that are composed of all the players from the National Police Service, including the DCI, the NIS, the National Government Administration officers, the county public health officers, our colleagues within the veterinary services, and to also be able to co-opt other relevant regulatory agencies with specific terms of reference so that then we are able to enforce the same. And among the deliverables, which have largely been highlighted by my PS colleague, is to ensure that livestock facilities undergo inspections and are compliant with applicable rules and regulations. The multi-agency teams are also tasked to identify hotspots for illegal slaughter of all livestock and to arrest the culprits while dismantling all the criminal syndicates involved. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, we aim to develop a robust and safe food system through a coordinated multi-agency regulation and pool resources for effective enforcement. I know there's always a conversation around where are the resources for us to be able to implement or do this. Within the various agencies, including our colleagues in the private sector, we have enough resources. All we need is to see how best we coordinate and share and leverage on the various competencies and the available resources so that then we make this dream a reality. Now, the regional and county commissioners are tasked with providing the essential leadership to spearhead this initiative, and we expect to receive regular reports detailing the progress of this exercise. I have full confidence in the dedication and professionalism of each of you, and I know everyone will play their role, upholding the highest standards of integrity, and in addition to that, also upholding the whole of government approach. If you look at the distribution of all of us represented here today, we are basically taking care of everybody within the national and county governments. So that with the team, if we agree to work together, we'll be able to demonstrate what is possible, and what we achieve with this exercise would then be replicated in other efforts. You know what we are doing in trying to control illicit alcohol on the issue, as well as the issue with the drug and substance abuse. You know what we are doing within the space of supporting farmers with the fertilizer distribution, what we are doing with the Ministry of Education, just with the support on the transition, and all the other sectors that are of importance. And we have demonstrated time and time that the whole of government approach, or the multi-agency approach to addressing the issues that concern us and that are important to wananchi, is achievable. Now, my colleagues, PSS, are committed to supporting you and will provide all the necessary assistance to ensure the successful execution of this task. I want to thank you for your dedication and cooperation as we embark on this vital initiative. I know we still have another important session where we'll go into the details of the how, but also to better understand and appreciate why we must do this for the safety of our country in the context of national security, but also for the safety of the food that we all partake of. And with those many remarks, I want to wish you successful deliberations and discussions. And when we go back to our stations, we want to see the impact of this RRI that we will be rolling out effective today. Asanteni sana, and God bless you.